Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stock market update video. And I'm going to be doing these again. I know a lot of you have been requesting to do stock market updates. So I'll be doing stock market QQQ and the Sp500, as well as the 7 mega cap techs, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and Tesla. So we'll be looking at their levels at once per week, just get an overview on what the stock market is currently doing, and just give us a better understanding for the following week to better gauge if market is having a turn or just a short-term pullback or is it a temporary top. All right, so let's take a look. So on Thursday, we got a big drop. You can see that it was quite big, actually. It was a CPI came in better than expected, and we still got a 2.8% drop on QQQ, which is a NASDAQ as well. We trade futures. And currently, we broke through this on the 4-hour time frame on the 4-hour EMA 12 is where we were looking at the moment before it came below it. You can see we were never gotten below it on these pullbacks, and every time we go higher. It's even more clear on a NQ, which is the NASDAQ, but most of you guys trade QQQ, so we'll be charting QQQ. And the question now is, does this bounce, right, that we got on Friday, are we going to just V-shape higher, make a 4-hour uptrend and back to all-time highs? Or is this going to be the first 4-hour downtrend that we've seen in a while? We had one. No, we did not have one, actually. This bounce, you could say this is a 4-hour downtrend, but kind of this is just an initial move because we never really made it higher. Just made a tiny bit of a higher high. So this is one move. So this is a clear lower high being set at the moment. You can see. So this is now the level bears are playing off of pretty much. So that's the lower high being set. So now the question is, do we pull back to a lower low, breaking Thursday low? If that happens, that's a clear 4-hour downtrend. And that would probably mean that we get a little bit more pullback than what we currently have. So we zoom out to the daily, and we can just simply say, as long as the daily EMA 12, this exponential moving average 12, is holding, you can see all these bounces pretty much exactly off of it. Bounces again on Friday, then bulls are in absolute full control. So we don't want to be fighting the trend. We want to see, give us something from the, bears need to prove it. And you can see that we have these big drops, right? But they never really confirm the daily downtrend. So big drop, bounce, try to set the lower high, didn't, bulls V shape. Drop, bounce, try to set the lower high here. They had to break the parallel, didn't, and then we V-shaped. So if we do get a daily downtrend confirming here, breaking the EMA 12, then that's a shift for me. Saying that, okay, bears are a little bit more serious this time about potentially setting a shorter term top, and maybe we'll get more of a downside move from there. But at this given moment, so far not yet. So we'll be watching to see if this EMA 12 breaks and if that 4-hour downtrend confirms for us next week. We have a little bit of an RSI divergence here. You can see price made a higher high and RSI made a lower high. So that means, when we're back here, RSI was 81. And back here, price is higher, but RSI is only at 80. That means it's lower. That's divergence. I don't trade off of that. It's just a tiny red flag for me. It just, if that happens, divergence for me, just be cautious. That's it. I'm not going to be shorting just because they're divergence. If it's a 3 divergence, we get another one. They made a lower low, and while the price made a higher high, and we get another one like that, that's a slightly even more red flag for me. So then I'll count that as like a mini red flag, and I'll be cautious, probably taking profits or scaling out in those scenarios. But at this moment, nothing really to worry about other than that end of the day drop we had, where we may potentially set that lower high here and break to a lower low. If we break to the lower low, that means we also broke the EMA 12 on the daily and confirm for our downtrend. Then we probably get a little bit more follow through down to at least 486 here, which is this prior sideways zone that we have in the Qs. If we break that, we're probably coming down to closer to this 480. You can see there's a lot of volume here at 480. So these are two levels I'll be looking at if we do break through that far away downtrend. Then if it's just a tiny drop, which we had like here again, like a couple percent drop, and then we bounce again, then this is a zone where we can potentially go long again. And similar as the idea to back here, we drop a couple percent into support, which is pretty much exactly this high, which is the prior high, bounce off of there, and you could go long. So that's the idea. Until it bears proof to us, we're likely going to be going favoring the long side, because monthly, weekly, daily are all in the uptrend at this given moment. S&P, same idea, but we did make a double top here. So for bulls, let's see if we can get over the double top. For bears, same thing, continue to reject from less level, and they need to break Thursday's low for any kind of convincing break for me. Otherwise, it's just a 1 day rotation from tech to IWM. So we had a lot of growth stock rotation for the last 2 days, which is broadening the sentiment, which is good for the bulls. That's pretty much what bulls want to see. If you're a bull and you see your tech stocks drop, but IWM going up like crazy, that means there's no fear in the market. It's just money rotating around. It's not like if you see every single sector dropping at the same time, then that is fear and that is money leaving the market. Then you have to be a little bit more cautious, versus we're rotating pretty well on Thursday. I think Qs were down like 2% at one point, and IWM was up 3% on Thursday. All right, let's take a look at the 7 mega cap techs, because they are pretty much the biggest holdings in the Qs. So if we know what the 7 mega cap techs are doing, then we're likely to get a better idea where Qs are going to be moving. If you guys learn anything from the channel, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, or support the channel on the channel link, or just click join button on YouTube, or go to the comments below at the Patreon link. There's a support button, or the mentorship if you guys are interested in that. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. So Nvidia here, there's 2 things I'm looking at for Nvidia. Pretty much, this is the resistance going all the way back to this breakout level. And this is support. Support is only 2 bounces at the moment, so I don't count this as much. But this is just an idea of what big picture Nvidia might do. The more key thing for me is Nvidia going to confirm a downtrend for me or not? So initial drop, right? Bounce. Bears tried really hard here, and they did not break the low. So no downtrend here, but then we bounced, and now this drop. Can bears break this drop and make a lower low? If they break this low, that's a weekly downtrend confirm. Let's go to the weekly chart to get more clear. Initial drop, bounce, and next week when it opens up, if we do break this 118 low, that's the first weekly downtrend confirm in like, had a tiny one here. Down, see that little tiny break, lacking follow through, and we just V-shape. So that'll be the pretty much since October 2023. That's almost like 10 months. So, and that wasn't even like a true follow through break. So it'll be very, very notable. We didn't even have one here. This is a big drop, and then we V-shape. So if we get a weekly downtrend up here, I will be more cautious and may potentially be coming back closer to this EMA 12 on the weekly, which is currently sitting at 113. If we break that, then we may probably come down to test this support zone. If we break that, I wouldn't even be surprised if we come down to 96 to test this prior breakout zone. If obviously we need market to pull back a lot for that to happen, but at this moment we don't want to be going that far. As far as we know, this could be a equilibrium as well. Big move down, big move up, big move down, and just tightens up. That would be the best case scenario for bulls. And after we tighten up, we get another bull move up, which is probably the more likely scenario, given how strong the market is currently. But we don't want to be blindsided by getting too comfortable as a bull. So we'll keep watch on when the pattern continues to form. Apple, nothing much to report. Doesn't have any resistance. Pretty much at blue sky breakout, meaning there is nothing above us. And you just have to look at the current current high. So triple top at 232 and the pivot low 225 right here at this red candle. So as long as Apple holds above this 225 and continue to just flag up, this could be a bull flag for all we know, and then head higher. No red flags at the moment, but if we do flag up and it breaks Thursday's low, then that's a little bit of red flag, starting to shape up. So we'll be keep watch on that, keeping things simple. Microsoft here. Microsoft here is a little bit more of a red flag for me than Apple, as you guys can see. Long-term rising wedge here. Resistance. Support. I think it goes back even more. But anyways, that's enough. 3 touches for each. And look, see, we broke above here. So that was a bull break out of the rising wedge here. And Microsoft is pretty much either the biggest or the second biggest. I forgot. Sometimes they switch depending on how much they go up with Apple holding at the moment. And so it obviously moves QQQ a lot. So you can see we broke above bull break, back test, bounce, which is really normal in bull market, right? When you back test, usually we get a bounce because of how strong the bulls are. And that's exactly what the bulls want to see as well. When you back test prior resistance, you want to see now act as support. Now we bounce, back test, and then we failed. So that is a bit of a red flag. Initial red flag number 1 for me on Microsoft to fail the longer term breakout, back test, and then fail through it. So maybe we'll come down to test this level. But before that, we got to break, I would say this sideways range right here. We got to break this 4.6 and for us to more downside towards 4.32 here. This zone. You can see there's not a lot of volume in this area. So once we come down here, there's probably going to be way more support. You can see there's a lot of sideways action here. So if we do get more pullback on the market, we probably see it from Microsoft dragging down the market if that happens. Apple's will probably be the last one to go, given how strong it is at this moment. It'll be probably the other ones. Just take a look at Google here. So Google, similar idea, rising wedge, resistance. Tried to break above it, for 4 days here. Couldn't flush as well on Thursday. I mean, everyone dropped for Thursday, so it makes sense. Now we're just at rising wedge support. So if this bear breaks, right, Google is going to be on the team bear as well and drag the market down. But we don't want to assume it's going to break, right? Because just as well bounce from here and head higher to the top of the rising wedge because this already has bounced 1, 2, 3, 4, and currently we're right on it on the 5th time. So Monday is actually quite key. So we'll see a lot of these stocks. Are they going to break their pattern and drag the market lower, or are they going to bounce here for more upside on the market? Because Thursday was quite a big drop. Amazon, pretty much picture same thing, picture perfect of Google. Bounce. Oh, sorry, resistance, like 7 times there. Bounce. And we resisted it again on Monday. Oh yeah, that's a weekly candle. So this pattern is actually on the weekly, so that means if it breaks, it's going to get even more follow through. Yeah, same thing. You can see resistance. There's a daily chart now, and we rejected on Thursday. So is Amazon going to come down to test this bottom of the rising wedge as well, like Google, or are they just going to continue to grind up? So we'll see about that Monday. Meta, similar idea to Microsoft, break above its longer term resistance. I mean, this one wasn't as long as Microsoft's resistance because you can see just 2 touches, 3 to 2-ish. Not that big of a deal, but you can see when we broke above it, got all that bull volume coming in, and then chops around and just kidding, came back to it, just like Microsoft. So question now is, can this support hold? Right? Bounce. If we get all these mega caps breaking bull and then come back to it and then break bear, right? That's obviously going to drag down the market a little bit. But before that happens, we don't want to just be blindly shorting just because, we anticipate it's going to happen. We'll take it one day at a time. And when that trend confirms to us, then we can start to look for the other side after. You're going to miss the initial move, but that's no big deal. You can still get the rest of the move versus trying to nail the top for the past 2 years and not, getting anything. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla on the daily time frame is pretty much bounced off of support. So daily EMA 12, keep it simple. EMA 12, bounce off of it all the way here. Another one over there, and then we just rock it up, dumped, but touched the EMA 12 again, bounced on Friday. So now the question is this going to be a tiny range bull? Let's see if it's going to be a bull flag. Let's go measure it first. I mean, you could arguably call it a bull flag, but just slightly poked below 0.382. But that's no big deal. We don't need to be that precise. The idea of a bull flag is big pop, and then when it drops, it doesn't drop that much, and then flags up for the next move. So that could be either that or bears need to break the EMA 12. Pretty much Friday's low for more follow through. If we break Friday's low, probably we're going to fill that gap at 231. And if we do fill that gap and come through, you can see there's a volume gap here. Then next level support, I'm looking at 220. If we break through that. But if bulls can hold here, then we may probably head a little bit higher and then flag around here. Depending on the overall market too, right? If market continues to be bullish, then it's definitely going to be a tailwind for Tesla to come back up. If the market starts to dump, right, we may get a little bit lower to this 220. All right, let's go for you guys. I will do the commodities update tomorrow. And I'll do these every Saturday for weekly updates. Just get a better view on all these mega cap tech stocks. And I will see you guys tomorrow for commodities update for natural gas and the gold, silver, all that kind of stuff. Have a great rest of you guys' weekend.